Saturn in the 10th house of your birth chart. The 10th house of your birth chart indicates how you make your mark on the world. So it's, in a way, it's your legacy, it's your career, it's how do you work with the world at large. Now, Saturn in this house has a very good upside and it has some severe dangers. So I want to talk about this very strong placement of Saturn. Saturn, in a way, is very much at home in the 10th house because some people, and I agree with this, can look at the 10th house as the natural home of the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. And as well, Saturn is usually considered a marker of your career. So if you're doing a career reading for yourself or looking at that sort of aspect of who you are, then you have this marker of career, Saturn, inside of the 10th house of career. So what that does is gives you a very strong focus, a very strong drive to succeed. And indeed, oftentimes people with Saturn in the 10th house are very good at business, at sort of climbing that mountain of success, and at doing what it takes to build a career. That's great. So what is the danger that I spoke of? So the only thing is that there's also an association of this placement with a rapid rise and then a crash. And the reason is, if you get obsessive about basically propping up your ego with your worldly success, becoming identified with your reputation in the world, you're setting yourself up for catastrophic failure. So what is the solution? What is the way to very positively use this type of placement with a Saturn in the 10th house of your birth chart? So the first thing is to realize that fear is not your friend. You don't have to worry about poverty and failure, and instead take this in a more positive, proactive way to say, I'm going to study and become an expert on how to build value, on how to build my reputation for the good of the world. And it's not about your ego. It isn't about whether you're a good person or a worthy person. Do not allow your public worldly efforts to stand in for your own personal self-confidence. That is a mistake. And instead, just say, you know what? I need to focus on how to be in the world and become an expert at that. And that's going to help me realize my purpose, because part of my purpose is my form, my specific limitations. And this is what I'm going to have to focus on. My placement in the world, how to build my presence in the world, how to give to the world. If you take it in that less egotistical way, you're probably going to have a lot more success in the long run. It isn't going to become all about you, and then all of a sudden, you anger the wrong people, or just the winds shift and you suddenly lose your footing and fall off the mountain, so to speak. Instead, you've learned how to walk up the mountain in a secure way, how to build value in a secure way, and you've internalized those values. So even if something did change and you had a problem, you wouldn't necessarily lose your shirt, because you would have internalized those traits that you need to be successful. And I believe you will be successful if you really take your placement of Saturn in the 10th house impersonally, while also learning what it means about who you are and how you came here to benefit the world.